to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I got him up. Hey! Welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons. This is 93.7 The Ticket. You know something? I noticed today that I was getting a lot of comments from a post that I made, and it was a fairly positive post. I like doing positive posts, and you know the thing about it is I think positivity is actually catching on. I think people are getting tired of being negative, and that's a good thing because positive is good. It always has been. It always will be. It's just we got a little off track for a while. But again, welcome to the show, and I want you guys to know I got a guest tonight, and we all gonna learn from my guest tonight because I don't know a lot about her upbringing, but I'm getting ready to find out. Doctor, I can never pronounce your name correctly, so would you please do the correct pronunciation of your name?
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome, young lady.
My name is Alia Khan.
Alia Khan. Can I just call you Doc? Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Because
okay.
I'll mess that up, and I don't want to mess no one's name up. So, Doc, welcome to the show. I want to first of all say thank you for. I know you're a busy person. I mean, you got your plate pretty full, and you found time, and you made time basically to come from Omaha, basically to be on the show, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna jump right in, Doc, because that's so much I want to hear from you, and I want to learn about you. So I'm gonna start off with where did you grow up?
Well, first off, thank you for having me in the show.
No problem.
Um, I grew up in several different countries.
Okay.
So, my dad is an engineer.
Okay.
So, when I was 2 months old, he moved to a country called Oman
Armand.
for
Okay.
a job, for a better job.
Okay.
So, we're originally from Pakistan.
Okay. Okay.
So, he found a great job in Oman, which is a country in the Middle East,
Okay.
and it is on the borders of it borders with United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
So it's back then in 19 like 69, 70, 71 in that time period it was might when my dad moved there it was a desert. It's a high rise now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Developed.
So I grew up there until the age of 16.
Okay.
Then we moved to United Arab Emirates in Dubai.
Wow.
And I stayed there for
Is that where
two.
you went to school now? You
So I went so the schooling system over there in those countries was different. So the terms of like high school, elementary were not used that over there. So we used it's based on UK, the United Kingdom, London, British education, like metric and FSC. That's what it was called. But so I grew up until age of 16 in Oman, and then I went to my pre-medical education in Dubai.
okay? Now, once you did your now, where did you actually do the medical? All of your, I mean, because you became a doctor at some point.
Right.
So, how did this all happen?
So throughout in my family there was a huge focus on academics right
Okay.
from the beginning. So when we were in Oman, life was pretty simple. Life was school, home, school, grades. Well, you got 80%, now you got to do 82. You got 82, now you got to do 90. Well, it's not good enough yet. 92 is what I want to see. And so it was just this whole focus. So my entire life was like, and all my siblings, and I see pretty much mostly all my friends, life was mostly about academics.
Okay.
And it was interesting because this is not what I saw here in America. I mean, it's different here. Lifestyle is pretty different here, but it's more creative here. Over there, I saw a lot of homogeneous, like homogeneity. Yeah.
Well, we were speaking of that. We were talking before the show, and you said something about watching TV.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I mean, can you explain that to my audience? Because I thought, I mean, it was caught me off totally off guard. You said I think you said your dad would cover up the.
Right. So like I said, that the focus was hugely on academics, and my dad bought a television, and he used to cover it with a heavy cloth like a blanket. So he would take it off. Like, I think he was trying to give us a statement that this is pretty special, guys. When you get to watch TV, it's special. So we would sit down there after having lunch and watch our dad taking the blanket off and really turning the TV on slowly, like it was really special deal.
Wow. Did now uh what kind of stuff did you watch? Did you watch cartoons?
No, that's another thing. We did not watch cartoons. Well, we watched news. That's all we watched, like the news of Pakistan in Oman. We were sitting there in the TV watching news, but no cartoons. So that was another surprise when I came here, which was like the lack of the cultural assimilation when two different people culturally combine.
Right.
This is what I saw when I talked with other peers or friends of mine, that they grew up with cartoons, Looney Tunes and Tom and Jerry, which I
Yeah.
didn't grow up with. I
So now what age were you when you came to the United States?
27. I was 27 when I came here.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. So and you lived in New York first?
So I came to New York. Um, so if we back up a bit, was in Pakistan for 5 years of medical college, after which I went did the house job, which is called residency here in the United States.
Okay.
So I was there for 6 years, which was actually a huge awareness coming out of countries like Oman and Dubai, which are totally different than Pakistan. Pakistan is a democracy,
Mm-hmm.
and Oman was most likely a kingdom, like a monarch, a
Gotcha.
kingdom. And so I saw a different level of freedom in Pakistan. And my grandparents, and that was the best part of my life. Like, I lived with my grandparents for 6 years. Then I moved to United States when I was 27, and I came here for a visitation. I
Mm.
just came here to visit,
Wow.
and I liked it so much. I came to New York, and it was just amazing to see the high rises, different cultures, the diversity.
So New York was totally different from anything you had ever saw?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But
Wow.
when the excitement is over, like after a week or two, then it's, the adjustment part
Right.
starts to come in. Like, how, it takes a lot of adjustment coming from a different country
Mm-hmm.
to adjust.
Speaking of adjusting, how was your language? I mean, wasn't there a language barrier when you first got here?
Oh, yes, there
So,
was. Yeah.
so
So
was English very comfortable for you or not?
not really. When I came here, so it's interesting how we had English as a subject when we grew up,
Yes.
and they taught us grammar and vocabulary pretty good. Like, my words that I know in English, I know them real well. That, okay, if I don't want to use pristine, I can use beautiful. If I don't want to use beautiful, I can use pretty. They
Right.
taught us that. They taught us the grammar, but speaking English was not something.
It
Speaking,
wasn't very
no,
easy at
it
first.
was not. It took me, I think, 1 or 2 years to get used to
Now you
that.
said something earlier before the show too that you mostly just hung with Pakistani.
Right. So when I came to New York, I came. My uncle picked me up from the airport, and so I hung out with mostly Pakistani society and stayed in the culture.
So
And
you were just gonna stay here for a couple of weeks or
yes,
something and then
right,
go back? Is that
right, right,
that was
right.
the plan?
I had a visa for 6 months, so I was going to stay here for 6 months. During that time, I liked it. I liked the place. And that's another thing. I saw the opportunity of, like, as a doctor, there's a lot that I can do here
Mm-hmm.
and give back to the
So how
people.
long was you actually in New York?
I was in New York for a month.
A month.
Hmm.
Then where'd you go after New York?
So after New York, I went to California to see my sister,
Okay.
and I stayed there with her. And another nice experience, but still adjusting, because they'd go out on a job in the morning. My sister and my brother-in-law, they'd go out on a job, and I'd be home by myself, reflecting on life. Like, okay, now I'm a doctor. I'm 27. I'm here. What am I doing with my life?
Right.
So things come to realization, and I decided, okay, if anything, maybe I should just take the tests and see the tests that are the United States medical licensing exam, that a foreign medical graduate, when they come here, they can take it. And if they pass it, they can do the training and then work.
So when you did that in California,
Right.
okay.
Hmm.
So did you become a doctor or a licensed doctor in California? Is that where you became?
Right. I
Okay.
first
So
became.
so you worked there for a while. How'd you
Yes.
like it working there?
It's pretty different. The work atmosphere in United States is much different. I have the only thing I can compare it to is Pakistan, which is different.
Okay. When you say different, I mean, can you tell me why it's different?
I would say it's more organized, more poised, more well defined. We live in a litigious society here, and um, in Pakistan, it's simple. Like, somebody would come with a cough or a cold. You worry about the patient. You over here, you do worry about the patient, but there's a lot more added over here. Like, there's documentation, there is how you document it,
The
all of that.
paperwork.
Yeah, paperwork is,
Okay,
yeah.
I got you.
Hmm.
So if you had to rate it, being a doctor here or where you come from, which one would you say has been your best experience?
I'd say my best experience is here in the United States.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also something to be said that this profession of medicine is really about giving to the society.
Okay.
So wherever you work, the end outcome is the same. You're making your patients feel better,
Right. Right.
whether it's here or
And that
Pakistan,
is the ultimate goal.
and that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Right. Hmm.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, I I admire your profession because it takes a certain type of person to be able to do what you do. Uh, I mean, if I understand correctly, you now work in the hospital here
Right.
in Lincoln.
Right. That's correct.
Hey, and you don't have to give me any detail because I really don't think I can handle that. But I know that you see a lot of different situations,
Hmm.
and that's where I say I admire your profession because you got to have a certain mentality
Right.
to be able to be a doctor, and that's not just here; that's anywhere.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
because some of the stuff you have to look at, I can't look at, and
right.
that's why I say I admire you. Now you working here in Lincoln, how has that been? Have you
It's the greatest opportunity I've had.
working
It
in Lincoln?
is very nice here in Lincoln. In the hospital that I work at is, I would say that it's one of the best experiences I've had. And
Okay,
all along my professional career, I consider myself really blessed, um, until I got here. And I figured everyone is so dedicated here in their work, so committed, so dedicated. I always say that if you work in a hospital and if you're comfortable to be in the same hospital as a patient,
mm-hmm.
that speaks volumes.
Yeah, because a lot of doctors they just treat you and give you a prescription, send you on your way. Well, your situation is a little different. Actually, after they get admitted, then that's, if I understand correctly, that's when they turn them over to you.
Right. So it's what I do is a hospitalist. It's
Okay.
hospital medicine. So what it is, I'll try to define it that if somebody comes to the emergency room
Mm-hmm.
and they have to be admitted, they call hospital medicine team, and those doctors are called hospitalists.
Oh, okay. So
So
so you don't, you actually work there in the hospital all the time.
all the time, right?
So do you guys work in shifts or?
Yeah, there's shifts, right, right.
Man, well, it's kind of hard to do that because I mean, what if you may have some long shifts is what I'm saying. If a person's sick and then
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just got to stay.
we do, and our trainings, the doctors go through rigorous trainings that coming out of that training, we're kind of used to of those shifts. 8 hour or 12-hour shifts is something you get used to it.
Hmm. Well, I mean, like I said, I admire the profession all the way around. I just think it's a very it's got to be rewarding when you help people.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah, I mean
Yes.
that part I can relate to that, but it's all the technical stuff. I mean, you guys with the needles and see, I don't, that don't bother you. You just
No, no, it's part of the process.
so
Part
you
of
just walk in there and do what you got to do, and
with compassion, with
yeah.
care, Yeah.
Well, I tell you one thing. I'll be real honest with you. I'm glad that you're doing it.
Okay.
And I hope you continue to do it because we need more people to do that. Let me ask you this though: when you were working, so you was here during COVID?
um, I was in California
You was in California.
during COVID, right?
Okay, so it was pretty bad out there, like it was everywhere
Oh
else.
yes, yes,
So I know I saw a lot of news clips where nurses were getting, nurses, doctors, everybody was getting stretched pretty thin
right.
because you was working long hours, and then when people got, if they got diagnosed, then they'd have to take time off. So that made your
It was a difficult time, but I know that people needed us. The society needed us. If somebody comes into the hospital, I mean, I was there with my coat, gowns, PPE, and all. I'm there. Most of the doctors were there doing what they're supposed to do.
wow.
That's just how that's just our training that ingrains us, like just that's built in to. It's like a soldier almost. It's
Hmm.
we're not soldiers, but you can compare it to
Well,
that.
you're on the front line,
Right, right.
so yeah, it is a lot like a soldier. But you
Hmm.
know what? You guys did it. Now, so when did you actually come to Lincoln then?
Oh, so I moved from California in 2021 to
Okay,
Omaha.
okay.
Hmm.
So you've not been here very long, but
No,
but you like it.
I love Omaha.
You love.
Yeah, I love Omaha.
Wait a minute. You like the snow and all that too?
Well, I like the people in
Okay.
Omaha.
You don't like the weather. You just like the people.
Not really. But if let's say if it's snowing outside and I'm not working and my shift it's not on and I'm off, I enjoy it. I enjoy watching it with having a cup of coffee in the house.
Yeah.
But if I have to drive,
Well, you don't feel bad. I mean, I'm originally from Texas, so I had to adjust as well. But I've been here a lot longer than you, so I have adjusted to the weather. But it's definitely it takes some getting used to.
right. And life is all about adjustment, one
Right,
after the other.
right. And you know what? That's a fair statement. I got to give you that. That's a fair statement. I'm sitting there thinking about some of the other questions that I want to ask you, but I think we're going to get ready here in just a few minutes to take a break. And I got some more questions, so do not move. And hey, don't y'all go nowhere. I'm going to ask some questions, man. Stay tuned. 93.7 The Ticket to get your happy on hour. We'll be right back.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, call 988 for free, confidential, and compassionate support. On July 16th, the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is transitioning to 988. There is hope. For 24/7 support, call, text, or chat 988.
Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner. Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de the Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
You've got a bona fide star in Keisei Tominaga, and he has got kind of a personality and a game style that is going to attract attention. And then, of course, the Rudy type of ending that you would hope to see in Sam Hoiberg. Sometimes Hollywood couldn't write it any better than what we have right now.
Gritty over pretty, right? Gritted out a tough win. Sam Hoiberg, pretty much game-sealing steal and layup.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Do you remember your favorite teacher? I sure do. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Teachers push students to do their best and help kids when they struggle. They make their classrooms welcoming and safe for all students. They create engaging lessons that help students access complex concepts and make connections. Support our public school teachers and students. Help make this the best school year yet.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Pastor Tom. Did you know there's a place kids can seek out help when they're away from home and something goes wrong? They find themselves in a difficult spot or even a dangerous situation. Maybe another child is bullying them or a stranger is following them. Perhaps on a date and things just go bad. In Lincoln, here's where they can find help. It's called Safe Place. Safe Place is a national program for children taking place in thousands of cities across the United States. The People City Mission is sponsoring this program in our community and has set up a number of businesses, fire stations, schools, and nonprofits around the city to become safe locations where kids can seek out help. They just need to look for the big yellow sign that says Safe Place on it. Then go inside and ask for help. We will be quickly connected to them and ensure they make it back home or to whatever resources are needed. If you'd like to find out more about Safe Place and ways in which you can get involved, just go to pcmlincoln.org. Remember, We all do a little. We change a lot.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I wanted to quit for so long, but I didn't know where to start.
I was afraid of what people would think, but then I found the right support to start my recovery journey. 1 in 14 Americans reports experiencing a substance use disorder, a treatable medical condition. Treatment can take many forms, so there are a variety of options to explore and find the one that works best for you. Recovery from drug addiction is possible.
Paid for by the CDC. Sponsored by Nebraska DHHS. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What? Man, we back. 93.7 The Ticket to Get Your Happy On Hour. I'm learning a lot today, and I still got more questions. But first, I got to tell y'all something. I took for granted that everybody watched cartoons. I thought that was a normal thing. And I come to find out that that was a privilege that was taken away from you. And I find that kind of interesting. You know, also, just listening to you talk during the break, and you had mentioned how your dad would always monitor those grades. Now, my parents monitored my grades, but as long as I was doing pretty good, I didn't really have any backlash. So when you grew up, the father was the one that kind of controlled your grades or controlled how you did school, or how did that work?
In my home, I'd say that my father had already kind of like sketched my life, like, okay, you're going to study. So we'd go out on social events. He would introduce me to other friends and families, and like, this is my daughter. She's going to become a doctor. And she's going to go to the United States.
Oh, wow. So he had it all mapped out. Now, what age was this?
This was 7, 8, 9. That was like when I grew up. And so happens to be that I really liked biology also. I really liked it, and I was good at it. Okay. Whether it was due to the fact that it was already told that, okay, well, this is how she's, or I feel like my inclination towards biology was right from the beginning.
Okay.
But my dad had already planned it out, and he was like, okay.
He already had everything mapped out. You just had to keep living.
Keep living and do it. So I tell my dad, Dad, I fulfilled your dream. And it's my dream too. I'm very happy with it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. We fulfilled Dad's dream, but you was talking during the break about another project that you're going to be working on. Are you comfortable sharing that with us?
I can bring it up a bit. I'm writing a book.
Okay. What type of book are you writing?
It's going to be a self-help book.
Okay.
But it's about a story of my life.
Oh, okay.
And I have a passion for young girls, younger generation, and especially females that are emerging from all different diversities, all different cultures, and want to do something.
Oh, okay.
And it's a story about my life, which I think, in my humble opinion, might help them to see that, especially from my point of view, coming from another country, getting adjusted to the new culture, cultural assimilation, and how that happens, and especially with all the different diversities and all competitions. And the motto was that you got to keep moving in life. You can't stop.
Gotcha.
You don't have to get over things, but you can get through it.
Right.
And you might find yourself at a different point, which would be better than before by constantly moving, constantly progressing. So I think it will be helpful to girls, especially in this competitive atmosphere that we are in now,
Right.
with all the technology, AI coming in, artificial intelligence. It's beyond my imagination to see what the world will be like in the next 5 years with
Well,
AI.
I wonder about that also, because I always look at it from a little bit different perspective, and I label it like this. It's like distractions. A lot of our youth, they have, like, and I just use this for example, they have way more distractions than I had as a youth. I mean, I didn't have cell phones,
Right.
I didn't have all this tablets, and I mean, it was pretty basic for me compared to what these kids have to deal with today. And then you throw in social media on top of that.
Right.
And so I think that you writing this book, I think this will be very helpful to a lot of people.
Mhm.
And that, I admire that as well, because a lot of times once people reach the level that you are at, it's real easy to forget about people behind you.
Right.
And that doesn't seem to be something that you're doing. You're actually trying to reach back and help.
I think that's what life is all about. Once you get to a point, it's humanly, I think, our responsibility to give back
Yeah, I
to
agree.
the society before we leave the world, right? It is
Right.
important to do that. It's like that triangle of life, right? That you get to a point, it's your responsibility and duty to give back to people. And so I have a very strong passion for female growth. And my book is going to be about my life, but a lot of females, younger generation, they will find it helpful.
I think that's very, very important that you do that, because, I know quite a few people that have that same mindset, including myself. I like helping people.
Right.
I mean, I just think I don't really know how to explain it, but it's a certain feeling you get when you help people.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's not something you can actually put a price on.
Right.
It's just an inside deal.
Right.
And
And also, this book is going to be talking about cultural. It's going to be a cultural awareness of how people coming from different countries, how they establish themselves here, how they mix with the society. It's a cultural awareness book as well.
Okay.
So,
Okay. I think that's pretty smart. I mean, I never thought about it from that perspective, but yeah, because see, the things that I take for granted, I mean, I would have not even thought about, someone that came from a different upbringing. Like I would have if you took me to Pakistan right now, I'd be in trouble. I'd be in a lot of trouble because I don't speak the language, and not growing up like that, I wouldn't even know how to adjust to that. So I admire the fact that you want to write a book to help someone, because people may get put in a situation where they, for whatever reason, have to relocate.
Right. And with the social media, the world is actually getting smaller.
Correct. I agree with that.
Right.
Yeah, and I see that a lot too. And social media will also, it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's an opportunity for people to be brutally honest and not have to actually do it in your face. They can do it
Right.
behind a
Yes,
keyboard.
I agree.
You know,
Right,
and
right.
I think that's taking its toll on our youth.
It's a sophisticated system if used correctly.
Right.
But I've seen people unnecessarily spending time on it, including myself sometimes when I feel like I'm bored, I just look at that and I'm like, no, this is something, it's something that needs to be utilized effectively for betterment of the world and betterment of society.
I think it has some benefits.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I'm not anti, you know, social media or technology. I think it has a lot of upside, but it's got some downside to it.
Right.
And, you know, it seems like that's the part that gets the most attention.
Right.
If we could figure out a way to have all the attention focused on the good that it can do, I think it can be very beneficial to a lot of people. But I just, you know, and this is just me. This is one of the things I've noticed about it. Technology is when people are, I don't know, I mean, let's just say at a restaurant with their families or whatever, or with their a group of friends, the art of conversation
Right.
is lacking.
Yes.
You know, because everybody is on their device, you know.
Right, right.
I mean, I understand it. I know everybody's important. I'm just not that important, you know. So it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But then I think the best way to say it, way it was said to me was, well, I grew up with it. Okay, well, I get it. If you grew up with technology, then I can understand why it's so important to you. Well, see, I didn't grow up with it. So, you know, it's important to me, but not as important as it is to some of the youth.
Right. I agree with you. And as we continue to progress and life goes on, we'll see that some of it is imperative. Some of it is just like all the apps that you have to download now. Like sometimes it's just not possible to conduct a business without downloading that app.
Right,
And
right.
so some of it is
I see the benefits.
Right.
I definitely see the benefits. I guess, and I've said this before, but I will say it again because it's kind I mean it as a joke, everybody, before I say this. But, you know, I pull up at a red light and I don't do this much, but sometimes I'll look to my left or my right, and both the people in the cars, it's like they're praying.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
got,
Right.
they got their
Right.
head
right.
down, and you know, the light turns green. I'm the only one that leaves. You know, I get it, but I'm just not that important, I guess. So it's kind of different for me.
Well,
but
that on a red light, it's a completely different subject. It's not safe.
I don't think it is, but you know what? I'm not going to fight that fight because I know a lot of people are so important that they must do that. So, so I'm gonna go ahead on and let that go, you know. But no, actually, back to your book. When do you plan on starting?
I plan on finishing it in the next 4 to 5
So
months.
you already started?
I started.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
started a little bit writing it and finishing it, hopefully, if time allows, with all my work and everything, probably 4 to 5 months.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So by the summer, maybe?
Yeah, I'm hoping that, right, by the summer. And so,
Well, you got to keep me posted because when it's done, we got to have you back on and let you talk about your book and how they can get your book, because I think it's worth getting. So you got to definitely
yes,
keep
I
me posted
will.
on
I
that.
will.
Okay, Doc?
Yeah, sure, I will. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're very welcome. Well, Doc, I got to ask you another question that I just don't know how to ask you, but I'm going to ask it like this. How long do you think you'll do your doctor and stuff here in Lincoln?
Oh, it's interesting. I I'm probably going to retire here.
What?
Yeah, I love this place. I love the administration. I love almost everybody, and it sounds like too good to be true, but it's not. I almost love everybody there. The staff.
Well, the reason why I asked that
Yeah.
because most people that came from California to here,
Right.
they're not talking about staying here. So, I mean, it's just a question. That's why I had to ask. I was like, well, okay, you like California. Now you're here. So how long is this going to last before you up to go to a nicer climate? But you think you're going to stay, huh?
I think so. I am very comfortable. See, this is how I look at work. Your work should be your passion.
Okay.
Yes, work makes you the paycheck pays your bills, lets you live your life that you want to live, but it has to be your passion.
Correct.
This is what I'm teaching my kids.
Yeah.
Find your passion, go for it, then you will always enjoy it, and you'll see paychecks with happiness like this.
You know, I like that concept because I always used to say, if you find your passion and make it your occupation, you'll never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
Because
Yes.
you get up every day that you're blessed to see, and you actually get an opportunity to go do what you love.
Exactly.
And I guess the bonus would be you do get paid for it.
Right.
So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, because I know a lot of people that are not happy with what they do, and it shows.
It shows, right?
Yeah, it shows. It's not hard to tell when a person doesn't like what they do because it's kind of all over their face. It's like, man, I got to go to this job.
Yes.
Oh man, another day. Hey, well, look, we're gonna take one more break, and we're gonna come right back. Don't go anywhere, man. This is the Get You Happy On Hour, 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be right back.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jackamick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackamick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Shauna, my mom, who just finished her high school diploma. I wanted to say I'm so proud of you for finishing school. You taught me it's never too late to achieve your dreams. I hope to make you as proud as you have made me.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Mario fue pintor más de 30 años. Cuando me dijo que se le estaban olvidando las cosas, fue difícil. Un día me dijeron que pintara el marco del lado por dentro y pinté el lado de afuera.
Yo le diría a la gente que le diga a su familia lo que está pasando con él.
Si algo se nota diferente, podría ser Alzheimer. Es momento de hablarlo. Visita alz.org/nuestras historias para saber más. Un mensaje de The Alzheimer's Association y the Ad Council.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scotts Bluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is "My job is people, everyone is my business." But unfortunately, in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
I'm Brian. At 58, doctors told me I had the heart of a 37-year-old man. They told me that after my heart transplant surgery. If you're a smoker, here are some tips in case that happens to you. First, you have to quit smoking before you can get on a list for a transplant. So quit now. And never feel sorry for yourself. I don't. I only feel sorry for that 37-year-old man.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
The Ticket Water Cooler with Jake Bakoven and Enrique Alvarez Clary.
You've got a bona fide start in Keisei Tamanaga, and he has got kind of a personality and a game style that is going to attract attention. And then, of course, the broody type of ending that you would hope to see in Sam Hoiberg. Sometimes Hollywood couldn't write it any better than what we have right now.
Gritty over pretty, right? Gritted out a tough win. Sam Hoiberg, pretty much game-sealing steal and layup.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
They are our love bugs and companions. They are our pets, our family, and they make life better. When we face unexpected challenges, so do our pets. That's why we're on a mission to support people and their pets. Whether donating a bag of kibble, sharing an Instagram post of a lost cat, or welcoming a foster pet into your home, every bit of kindness counts. Visit petsandpeopletogether.org to learn how to be a helper in your community. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we back. I still can't dance, but I still think I can dance. And that's all that matters. So every chance I get, I'm going to get my happy on. You know, I always have to ask all my guests this one question. It's real simple because everybody's different. You know, like I said, it's well documented that music is my thing. I love to try to dance, even though I'm not good at it. But in my head, I'm really good at it. And that's all that matters, because as long as I'm happy and it makes me feel good, then I think it's okay. I'm just real curious to know, you know, I mean, I know my guest Doc hasn't watched cartoons growing up. Doc was always in her education phase from a very young age, and has actually become very successful doctor. Man, I just wonder, with all of that going on, with all the cultural changes, I'm just curious to know what does Doc do to get her happy on?
It's been, I'd say, different every decade of my life. It's something different. So these days, I'm really enjoying spending time with meditation.
Okay.
Quiet time.
Gotcha.
With self-realization and self-discovery, I would say. And I'm into these different ways of meditating, which is connected with breathing. So you breathe in a different way, kind of have to take a deep breath and exhalation and inhalation and that. Before this, I was into music. I enjoyed music, spending time with family, running. I used to be a runner. And there was a time that TV has very little role in my life for happiness. I was very much not into TV mostly. But there was a time I watched TV and I was just watching HBOs or
Watching more
movies.
movies than you
Yes,
were
right,
just regular TV.
right.
I noticed you said that there was a period that you did like music or listen to music. Can you dance, Doc?
Yes, I can.
What?
Actually, yeah, I can dance, and it's a different dance that I can do. It's like the Eastern dance, which
Okay.
is called the classic Kathak dance.
Okay, I have
I
no
do that.
idea what
Yeah,
that is.
I do
but-
that. Right.
See, I got one dance. I've been doing it forever. So, I mean, so I don't know any other dances.
Right.
The rest of them I don't quite understand or I just never learned. But so once upon a time you did get your dance on.
I did. I used to. Yeah, right. It was all. It had a lot of balancing moves and actions.
Okay.
You'd have to balance yourself, and I was getting good at that. And yeah,
Not
yeah.
in the jail. Well, that's funny. Okay, well, so since Nebraska is now home and it's going to be home, you're going to have to figure out some things that you can do for happiness that be inside a lot of the time. At least 6 months out of the year, it has to be
Inside, yes,
inside
right.
because the weather doesn't permit too much outside activities.
Which is where meditation comes in. Well, one of the things that I want to share with everyone listening is this: that happiness is an emotion.
Okay.
There is content. There is a word called content. Content is different than happiness.
Gotcha.
Content is like how satisfied you are with you.
Okay.
You're standing in the grocery line or in the post office and that mile is half a mile long and you're content. You're satisfied. You're not getting mad, angry, and you're not letting it bother you.
Right.
That's content. How happy you are with yourself, with your body image, with how you look, with what you do. And happiness is an emotion that comes and goes, comes and goes. It's like, we have different emotions. We have anger, we have frustration, sadness.
Right.
And happiness is also one of the emotions. It comes and goes. It's important to realize that happiness may not be with you at all times, but what stays with you at all times and should stay is content. That you're always satisfied. I think, in my opinion, it's hard to say that I'm happy 100% of the times because sadness comes. You've got a death in the family, an accident, or you got bad grades, or your doctor just told you you're diabetic or something,
Right.
and you're sad. So it's an emotion which is appropriate for that time that you have a bad news. But happiness comes and goes. So it's important to realize at those moments in life when you're down, when you're sad, that you are still grateful and content, if that makes
That
sense.
makes total sense.
Yeah.
Because see, I agree with you. That's why every day I work so hard at whatever I'm dealing with or having to go through. I try to hurry up and get back to happiness, because I think happiness is an inside job.
It is.
And that's just me personally, because do I have everything in life I wished I had? No. But do I appreciate everything that I do have?
Mm-hmm.
Is the most important thing. And I do. And I try to cherish that every single day. I encourage others to focus on the positive, because if you don't, negative will slip in there.
You're right. It's almost like if parents tell you when you're 10 years old that, son, I want you to get good grades.
Right.
So parents have put a value on the grades.
Right.
Now that son is going to focus on the grades
grades.
and is going to feel happy with the grades.
Yes, once he gets them.
Once he gets them. In the same way, we need to value happiness. Value it to get it.
Well, you know what? I think that's the perfect way for me to wrap this up, because I'm all about happiness. I want everybody to understand that I appreciate everybody that takes time out of their valuable day to tune in and check out the show. Every day you blessed to see, it truly is another day in paradise. And no matter what, like the doc said, you got to get your happy on. Go! So next week, we'll be right back. Next week, we'll be back. See you guys next week. Take care.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior